Hello from Elevated Aquaponics here in Evanston, Wyoming. This is Thomas Pugh, otherwise known as Tad, and I am filming my system. Just real quick, let y'all know what kind of mess I got here. It's not really a mess, actually it's been going pretty good. I'm in the dead middle of my cycling phase, and finally got my whole room set up. And this is pretty much the gist. Y'all saw my bench the other night, kind of in the dark, but here it is in the light time. Let me walk around here a little bit. There's my bench. I just recently acquired a fish aquarium. I was given to at a fairly cheap price. All that fish equipment there, and this 75-gallon tank. And I'm going to clean her up, and I'm going to use her as a quarantine slash baby tank or brood tank. It came with a really expensive light. I don't know if you can see it up there on the top. It's a like a four bulb T5 with LEDs inside. Really nice light. Has a timer, built-in timer on it and everything. I think you see it's right there. Anyway, trying to make this quick. So my supplies, kind of got it ready from building and stuff like that. You acquire some of that stuff. Right now, these are my little Aquaponics condoms. Nice. Condominiums. Aquaponics condominiums. That's a mouthful. Anyway, you can kind of see them here hiding behind there. There's two of them. There's a black one, which you're not going to be able to see. I can barely see them. But everything's been working pretty good. Got some aeration going on, as y'all know. Got an air pump underneath the condominiums there. And I got this, my input coming into here. And then this little water sprinkler. I love that little thing. Anyway, I got a little clean out down there. I'm plumbed back from behind on the bottom of my tank. So it comes out from behind the tank. That's a kind of a clean out. And as you can see back here, that is my separator. A 7-inch separator, solid separator, and my solenoid. And that's what I was kind of wanting to show y'all. Looks like I need to close my valve a little bit more. Thought I saw a drip there. Anyway, it is plugged into all in this power strip right here. Yeah, I know I'm loaded up here pretty good. But anyway, when I turn off the power to everything goes off. Since this is gravity fed, and I don't want to just emptying my tank, when the gravity is off, I mean I can turn off that ball valve right there, but I don't want to. I just turn off electricity, and that solenoid stops the water when electricity stops to it, because it's plugged in over here, like I said. But as you can hear, my loop siphons are working well. That one just broke. And this one's about to start filling. What you see here in the beds are a mixture of hydrogen and pumice stone. Which seems to be fairly light. And of course pumice is filled with holes. So I'm hoping the bacteria has a nice little place to hide. As you can see here, I got a few plants. Like I said, I'm in the middle of my cycling system, so these aren't really plants. These are just like tester plants. This guy would barely stand up on his own, so I got a little PVC pipe right there. Anyway, got the water going in. As you can see, I have two grow beds here. One is actually for the media. One is that has a bunch of holes and a screen in the bottom of it, so the water flows through to this one, which they both have a hole in the same place, of course, to drain. Both of them are set up the same way, so I can just pull one out and I have an empty bed. And that makes me easy to move and everything. I have two 30-gallon sumps here. One is designated from the return from the tank, fish tank. Water comes straight to the fish tank to this. It's then pumped up into the fish, into the beds. They drain down into this one. The reason for that is you have fish water directly to the beds from here. And then when they drain, that's bed water directly to the fish tank. The reason why I have two sumps is because it's not all mixed up. I know it in the end it's going to be, but I just want to designate the water just a little bit. Anyway, I just entered this pump in the other day. This is about a 600 gallon an hour pump, little giant. Plumb that up and down the bottom of the tank, and a little bitty PVC hole filled foot in the bottom. And I mounted it to there with a couple pieces of hose underneath it so it wouldn't vibrate. And then as you can see there, I got a cross piece of hose between both the humps, so both the sumps. So when one goes over the other, if it gets too high, it'll just go into the other one. So there's my air pump to supply both sumps with air. And that's pretty much about it. Oh, I forgot to tell you, before it goes into the fish tank, it gets filtered again through this canister filter that I made. That's a canister filter, and then a little makeshift thing to get it away from the wall there. I know this is a long video, guys, but I just wanted to show you how I'm working it. Right now I'm germinating my seeds. I have the light on there like these. As you can see, the different spectrums here. Different spectrums. I had that same light on my germination box, and I flip it. See the wire kicking out there? I'll flip it around so the plants get kind of equal sides of both of them. And that's my water right there. It's set about 5.7, 5.5, 5.7 with a little feeder juice in there. That stuff to be exact. Anyway, my dechlorifier, my dechlorinator, and my more 5.5. Here's back to my desk again. Thank y'all very much, and I'm sorry for such a long video. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to load it. Thanks. Bye. Say bye, fishies.
Hey, this is Paul from Hot and Humid Hydroponics. Today is a special day because today is planting day, and I've got my little planting partner with me. John, look at the camera. John, look at the camera and say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Say hi, Hot and Humid.
Hi, Humid.
So today, a little bit different with my Dutch buckets. Had to make some small modifications. Kind of thought of it on the top of my head, saw it somewhere else, and then it just kind of dawned on me. So kind of a little bit of both. So as I was looking at running out of space for certain types of crops, specifically cucumbers and some squash, and I said to myself, well, I could surely put more than one in a 5-gallon bucket. It's kind of overkill to not have it. And so in doing so, I just realized that why not put like 3, maybe 4. I'll probably regret it later, but you know, I've got to know what the capacity of my system is. So again, it's all trial and error. And today I want to show you what I did. So in this bucket over here, we've got Jackson's, we have what's called Jackson's hybrid cucumbers. They're from Johnny Seeds, and you can get them a couple other places. But the Jackson's, these are pickling cucumbers, and those pickling cucumbers are specifically. The reason I chose them this season was because of their high resistance to powdery mildew and everything else. There's a lot of nasties that come out here in Florida, and I'm going to be working against them with some organic measures this year. But I I figured why not start with some resistant varieties. Last couple of seasons, I really liked the crop that I've gotten, but they have all succumbed to powdery mildew or some kind of mold, and I decided to get something a little more resistant. So when you're putting the Dutch buckets in, if it was just one plant, it's real simple. You know, you're taking your line and the water flows over. Well, the problem is you're not really sure, and when you're putting more than one, are these other little areas that I've planted getting enough water? So what I did is very simple. Take maybe 5 inches, 6 inches, it really doesn't matter, of 1/2 inch PVC. Put a 1/4 inch up there, and I believe those are 1/16 inch holes. And I just kind of drilled my way around. I just drilled through the pipe in a couple different areas. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of reorganize these just a touch. And I'm going to drive this stake down the center, making sure my 1/4 inch hole is lined up properly. And I'm just going to pull that tube out a little bit. Try to do this all one-handed. There we go. Hold on. Oh, there we go. So what we're doing, we're effectively making sure that each side is getting proper liquid. Now, I tried this last season, and I'm going to change this up here in a minute. I did this like earlier today, and I just realized that the water spray, etc., when the water pressure gets high, the water sprays everywhere, and if I do it too low, then the drip rings don't do very well. It's just not real conducive. So by doing this, this directs everything out. So what's the important thing I realized is that when you're doing this type of style, you got to make sure that the pipe actually has perlite in it. So just because you drive it in there doesn't mean it's going to happen automatically. It just doesn't. So we're just going to go ahead and fill that full of perlite. Sorry about the shaky camera, guys. I'm doing this with one hand. And I want that to back up with perlite. I want it to settle. I notice I'm actually taking some water here and I'm running it and making it settle, and I'm packing it in there a little further. I want it to disperse, but I specifically want it to disperse in those areas. I do not want the water to get over the top, because that's caused me problems in the past. It works initially, but once you start getting plants coming through, they just don't like being that wet. So what I am doing is simply just directing the water. And that's it, guys. That water will fill up and backfill just a slight bit, but ultimately it's going to now absolutely percolate 100% through the entire unit. And no sprayers, no micro-sized anything, and the advantage with that is that there's going to be no backups and so forth, and I can easily clear it out if I need to. Anyways, this is Paul from Hot and Humid. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Okay, first run of the video walkthrough. There is the new greenhouse that we finished building about March, and had the first aquaponics system in it up and running in June. Walk around to the north side where we've got the IVC tanks. And there's Carla being annoyed by bugs. This end is the sump with an outside grow bed on it. You can see the drain line coming back. This middle IBC tank is an independent system that I'll show you inside. It's not fed by the sump, with its drain line coming back. And Up here we have the fish tank that is fed by the sump by a set of float switches in the sump and in this tank because it's too high to gravity feed back to. So pump in the sump pumps back to this tank. We've got fish and snails and freshwater clams and crawfish to help break up the detritus along the bottom. And the fish were just fed, and Carla was washing aphids off the broccoli leaves, and what the fish don't pick up we'll collect and stuff in the compost tank later. So let's go inside and look at this. Really hard to get good footage because of the narrowness of the greenhouse. Compost 55-gallon drum I just put in yesterday to hope to squeeze some heat out of the place. Our demonstration system, so that when we have visitors we can show it with a fish tank, timer, and a grow bed and a drain, and that's just how simple it is. Then the work area, which is all cluttered up with Carla's backside. And then back to the west end of the greenhouse. One of the vertical grow bays. We've got cherry tomatoes and cucumbers going crazy in here. And various leafy greens and onions and tempted carrots and whatnot. Another vertical grow stack here. Brussels sprouts, cucumbers. I think those are scarlet runner beans. And this is the new system from the center IBC tank that we just brought online last weekend. And in each of these 2-foot square on the floor bays I can run 2 5-foot and 2 4-foot vertical grow towers, which is 18 feet of grow space on a 2-foot by 2-foot piece of floor space. And there's the last one. And the sink. And the sink is plumbed out of the sump tank with a hose drain that I can run either back to the sump tank or over to the blueberries and plants, or just out in the pasture, depending on what goes into the water. And there you have it. And there's Carla being bugged by bugs, and Henry the dog who's helping with the bugs.